Whoa, good morning, everybody. It is Peter Kima. It's Friday. It's 8:30. It means it's time for Coffee Talk with Kima. I am pumped to come to you live from someplace new, someplace different. See, I'm at the Wake Forest Chamber of Commerce this morning in the conference room, and this week or this morning, we've got a training event. Right, we're going to work together as a foundation board this morning for the chamber to talk about goals, dreams, execution plans, things of that nature, and just put together the whole thing. I think they call it a retreat. I think we really should call it a forward and not a retreat because, quite frankly, we're going to go ahead and make a difference for people, especially the kids here in Wake Forest. So, super excited to come to you live from the chamber. And yes, even here at the chamber, you can see we drink a little alcohol on occasion. Anyhow, super excited. Today is a special day. And I'm going to start with that. I'll probably mention it 3 or 4 times, but today's a special day. Here's why today's a special day. 22 years ago today, Jennifer Kima said yes to this old mug. She and I got married 22 years ago. As a matter of fact, look who just walked in. There she is. Yes. Anyhow, if you can see Bailey, the welcoming committee is. I'm trying to get Jenna out of here. Get Bailey going. Yeah, 22 years ago today. This is the beauty of live video, right? So 22 years ago today, Jennifer and I, we got hitched in Pottsville, Pennsylvania, home to Yingling. For those of you that don't know, Jennifer grew up with the Yinglings. And as a matter of fact, her house is on Mahan Tongo Street. And if you look at the side of a bottle of Yingling right now, you'll see it says Mahan Tongo Street. So anyhow, this morning, I raised my Kima cup to my beautiful bride. What a saint, right? A lot of people refer to her as Saint Jen, and deservedly so. So, what else is today? Today is pizza party day. I think every day should be pizza party day, don't you? It's NASCAR day. So to all my boys, all you guys that love watching all those guys just go in circles for 4 hours, man. I raise my coffee cup to you. And Devil's Food Cake Day. I don't know what that is. Devil's Food Cake. If anybody knows what I know what deviled eggs are, but Devil's Food Cake. If you know what that is, let me know. I would love to know what that is. Anyway, this has been a hell of a week, right? I have been blessed. So on Wednesday, I got to host an event that we've been planning for an awful long time. My friends Cynthia Quarantello and Kim Papalardo and I, we put on an event at one of the more beautiful sites. If you've never been to the historic Wakefield Barn, find a way to get there. Go take a tour. Absolutely incredible place. Oh my goodness. And it was stunning. 100 people came to this event, and all 100 people were blown away by how gorgeous this place is. Currently, Secretariat's grandson is being stabled there. But what a beautiful, beautiful facility. We were going to release some more video so you get a chance to see it through video. But man, it warmed my heart. I had friends from all over the country fly in to pour into the real estate community here in Raleigh. They did it free of charge. They did it because community matters today more than it's ever mattered, not just in real estate, but in all parts of our life. Community matters more than ever before. It's part of the reason I love being a part of this chamber. It gives me another sense of community, another family, and I'm so grateful for that. We were all so much in a hermit stage during COVID that it just feels wonderful to be out and about again. And anyhow, so we're really blessed for that. So that was on Wednesday. Monday, we drove down to Charlotte to support another friend of ours who was putting on an event. And it was one of those emotional roller coaster rides, right? This event was more about like rising from the ashes. And there's a real estate related for sure, but it was really about life, right? There's so many stories of people and trials and tribulations. And here's the thing that I've learned over time. Everybody has a story to tell, and everybody's going through something. And it's more and more evident the more vulnerable we have become as a society, and the more we share that we recognize that. So that day was a roller coaster ride. It was great to see so many successes rise from the ashes. And the truth is, so many people have had their greatest successes after their greatest failures. And there's just so many examples. That's not what today's about, but that was my Monday. That was my Wednesday. And then yesterday was great. Last night we had I was exhausted. I won't lie, from the day before, 16-hour day. Yesterday, the Wake Forest Area Chamber put together an elected officials reception yesterday at Wake Med, and Wake Med North, that is. And it was phenomenal. It was great to meet many of our elected officials, to see our community come together. And I was honored. They needed a last-minute stand-in to MC the event, and I was honored, A, to be chosen, and B, to have so many people there to support me. It was great. It was a lot of fun. It was an ego boost for me, for sure. And then today I'm here. Before we celebrate my anniversary later, I'm here for the next, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 hours with Corey Hutcherson and the Chamber Foundation Board. So it has been a hell of a week. It's a week that I consider to be blessed, right? I mean, so many places and so many different things to do, and yet we still have to sell houses. We still have to spend time with our families. Of course, Ozzy wants my time. But what a great week! I feel so blessed to live the life that I'm living. And so, thank you to all of you that have had a role in this week. It's interesting. I love scrolling. Like, I'm one of those people who think, I know a lot of people don't like Facebook. They don't like social media because all you see is somebody's good side of their life. And I think, all right, who cares? Like, I think it's great. Like, the ones we complain about are the ones that are complaining, right? I think it's great that we have a place to come share our successes. And yes, I know life isn't all successes. We just talked about that. But I think Facebook's a great thing for that, right? It's a great place to stay connected. And I'm really loving that. One of the things I find on Facebook, there are funny memes. There's the set of memes out there that says, I'm this many years old. And then you see, you know, any kind of like something that dates you back to the 80s that a kid today wouldn't know about, or the 90s and a kid today wouldn't know about, right? Rotary phones is an example, right? There's a great video out there of a father offering their kids some sort of a big prize if they can figure out how to dial grandma's phone number on a rotary phone, and it's the funniest video to watch. But the one that struck me this week was the one that it was just a note that said, to whom it may concern, I give my son or my daughter, you know, Peter, permission to buy me a pack of Pall Malls or Winston's or you know, Camels or whatever it is, and you know, signed by mom. And I was that kid. I did that back in the early 80s. I remember getting that little note, having to go down to the store because, you know, you weren't old enough to buy cigarettes, but if you had the note, they would sell you the cigarettes. So I'm that many years old. Do you remember doing collect calls? Do you remember doing those? I remember calling, like when you had no money, you wouldn't want to pay your phone bill because, well, not pay your phone bill, but not take on long distance charges, right? I remember like calling my parents, collect and saying things like, when the phone would come on, I would say, I'm making a collect call. The operator then would say, all right, so, you know, it's automated. It would say, all right, state your name. And I would say, hey, send $25. I need money fast, please, while I was in college or something like that. Or, you know, send me $100, put $100 in my account. And that would then, on the other end, they would pick up the phone after it would ring and it would say, you have a collect call from, and then the message would be, hey, send me $100. My account's running low. And, do you want to accept this call? They'd hit no. Nobody'd have to pay a dime, but I'd get my message across. It was, I guess that's an early form of voice text. I don't know. But it was great. It was awesome. I was talking to my son Camden the other day. The kid loves hot cocoa, just loves it. We were talking about remember the old square Nestle Quick strawberry and chocolate metal tins with the little round lid that you pried open and you stick your spoon in there. And man, that stuff was heaven. I mean, to a kid in the 70s and 80s, you know, not health food, mind you, but it was great. But I miss those old tins. Now everything's plastic and what have you, or little packages. But I love that. Absolutely love that. Something else I heard yesterday about, while we're talking about being old, is I remember, I'm this many years old. I remember going through a whole day and not taking a single picture. You guys remember that? Hell, I can remember going through a whole day taking 24 pictures of my Kodak 110 camera and then getting them developed like 9 months later. And I know you did the same. I bet some of you still have little film that you never got developed hanging out in your junk drawer in your kitchen. Anyhow, and then the last thing I'll leave you with on the topic of being old, excuse me, a little time for Donkey here, is, ooh, that's hot. Do you realize that today, it's 2023 right now. Do you realize that 1980 to 2023 is the same distance in years as 1937 is to 1980? Let me say that again. 1980 to 2023 is the same amount of distance as it is from 1937 to 1980. Think about that for just a second. That just does not compute to me. I thought that was interesting. So, read this week, somehow they found and determined what breed of dog is the most spoiled breed of dog. And I know many of you are going to tell me Aussie's the most spoiled. I get it. My family certainly will tell me that Aussie's the most spoiled. I don't know. I think he deserves it. I think that's different. But here it is. Here are your top 3 most spoiled. These guys all tied for first place. The Australian Shepherd, the Border Collie, and the Corgi are the most spoiled dogs, according to this study. Tied for second are Bulldogs, Boston Terriers, and something called a Shiba Inu. I have no idea what that is. Surprised not to see like Labradors and things like that on here, but there you go. Again, Australian Shepherd, Border Collie, and Corgis tied for first. Bulldogs, Boston Terriers, and Shiba Inus tied for second. I thought that was interesting. So I told you a couple weeks ago that we are no longer going to I don't watch the news. I didn't make the choice not to watch the news. Now I do. I just stopped watching it one day, and I don't know why. I just did, and I've loved it. Right? I learn about things a little bit later than other people when it comes to terrible news, but the real big stuff when it hits, you hear about that, you can't miss it, right? So I'm looking at good news, and there's a couple of channels I like for good news. One of those posted something that I thought was fantastic. The story of a kid by the name of Christian Bowers. And I say he's a kid, he's 24 years old. Christian Bowers lives in Minnesota. Christian Bowers has Down syndrome, right? And when he was in school, he had more friends than anybody, and all of his friends were around all the time. There were other kids with Down syndrome there at school, and so he had a community. Well, Christian's now 24, and many of you remember that part of your life can be a little bit lonely sometimes for even those that don't have Down syndrome. Well, Christian's mom noticed that he was just not loving life the way he once did. And it was because of lack of community, right? We talked about community earlier. By the way, our event on Wednesday was all about the need for community in the real estate world here locally. So she noticed this. She's an overnight nurse, and she posted something at 4 a.m. On her social media that said, hey, my son Christian is 24 years old. I'm looking for just a couple of guys here in the Minnesota area that just want to hang out with a 24-year-old guy and just do guy stuff. Go to a ball game, just watch a ball game, and hang out and just do what guys do, right? And she finished her shift really early the next morning, just a few hours later, and she had over 5,000 responses. Guys, we have a great community. I can't tell you how overwhelming that story was in the moment. Over 5,000 responses in a handful of hours. She was able to find 7 guys that rotate. They each take 1 day a week, and they spend 2 hours with Christian. And Christian's life has turned around a 180. Like, he is now so happy, so grateful. And here's the beauty of it. All 7 guys do different things. Some are sports, some are motorcycle guys. They're all over the place. But Christian now has a community of people that care for him and that he gets to care for, right? And I thought that was just the coolest story. Anyhow, I just wanted to share that. I hate to do, and I don't know that I don't know that'd be great on radio. I certainly have a face for radio. But I don't know how to transition from a great story like that to a very, very difficult story. For those of you that love your ChikfilA, it has been announced ChikfilA is closing their first store ever. Yes, down in Greenbrier Mall, down in Atlanta, Georgia, somewhere in Atlanta. I'm not exactly sure what part. I used to live in Atlanta. But the Greenbrier Mall is home to the very first ChikfilA ever, right? The Cathy family opened up their very first one there, and it's changed the way fast food is done. They announced that at the end of the month, I think it's tomorrow, Saturday, is the last day for that original ChikfilA. So maybe, just maybe, if you're a ChikfilA advocate or somebody who just loves those chicken sandwiches, the next time you bite into a ChikfilA sandwich, think back to that old original store that was colored in browns and yellows like everything was back in that day, and think about that. Anyhow, listen, I'm excited. I'm so blessed. What a great day. What a great week. But today's going to be a great day. My wife and I, 22 years together today. Actually, we've been together longer than that, but married 22 years today. I love that you guys come here every single week. I love the comments. I love when I see you on the streets and you tell me how much you love Coffee Talk. It means a lot to me. As long as you keep coming back, I'm going to keep sharing. Grab your coffee, raise it high today towards Jennifer because she has had to be a saint to put up with me. I love you, and I will see you in a week.